The sticks. There is no poetry in a pandemic, just a monotonous string of monosyllabic words. Wake, eat, read, run, sleep, try not to think. Think about the people who are forced out of bodies. Think about all the bits of life we are missing, voices carrying on the breeze, early school day mornings, hugs from your mom, from friends, from family. Don't think about those sorts of things, or when they can come back to you, or if. There is no song of mourning for this pandemic. It goes on in a single threadbare beat, the type that just barely holds it together, holds on. We move blindly on, the nightmare's mere images. In reality, we move through the nightmare like there's something to wake to, like we all didn't just play our last unknown morning on repeat that day before the ghosts switched their moans to sirens. There are no movements in this pandemic. We are still. We are holding our breath and passing ghost to ghost, going down the aisles alone. Reaching out to the brink of the veil on the phone, silence forever is a terrible buzzing. The noise of death is sinking into 100,000 bees, reaching out of the swarm with an outstretched hand and emerging to only air, in the space where love used to be baking, or laughing, or doing her hair. This is not a time of beauty, it is a time of grief, anger blooming into screams that hit like fists upon the plastered walls, placing careful footsteps on broken toes like someone in a dream, sneaking selfish prayers that something stops your family, holds them to the earth when your embrace can't reach. Everyone has become a potential body to me, badly stuffed museum pieces with no light in their eyes. I knew a girl who went out and picked every California poppy, shoved them down her throat, climbed the tallest tree at Apple Hill, and vomited them out into the breeze and called it freedom. The seeds carried souls into the earth and grew down 6 feet. The white of her dress vermilion with longing for something bright to fill the empty pit that had been growing long before the virus. I heard the flowers are afraid to bloom next spring. I knew another girl who sat at her window and sang with her frogs at night and looked to help snails cross to rain-glazed leaves. She slept under a big heap of sod and was so often mistaken for a tree. She was lonely and had opened her ribs to set the butterflies free because they asked to leave. I can hear her sometimes when the moon is new. I can hear her softly crying. The lyrics are all disjointed and I can't work out the timing. There are too many instruments fighting within the measure. It's all solos. It's all a mess of nothing. Nonsense upbringings and Rorschach splatterings and an old home door with new locks. I went out to the cornfield today and found the scarecrow. Stripped him down and found he was just a bunch of sticks. I laid him beside the broken birds with shotgun holes in their anatomy. He wasn't needed anymore, and I couldn't take the singing. I couldn't stand the sight of that orange petal trapped between his coat and the breeze. It isn't a lack of poetry, it's a lack of spirit and sense. It's forgetting where your home is and what it feels like to laugh without its haunted echoes wrapping around tragedy. It's stumbling out the door to find the world has gone quiet and the music of community is missing and forgetting it ever played. It's lonely. So many gone and we're still passing calendar days with a check mark. Add another 1,000 and we don't even blink. We don't even pause for a second of silence for fear that the fears might make us look weak. It isn't a lack of poetry or music or movements or beauty or this side and that. It's a lack of meaning.